Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Today's video, we'll talk about the ignition system. Hello, I'm Nestor T. Montana Jr., a third-year student of Bachelor of Technology in Livelihood Education, major in Industrial Arts. I'm studying at Tarlac State University, Tarlac City, Tarlac, Philippines. Introduction about the topic, about the ignition system. The ignition system is a crucial part of an internal combustion engine responsible for igniting the air-fuel mixture inside the engine cylinders. This process generates the power needed to drive the vehicle. The system operates in a sequence beginning from the ignition key and the ending at the spark plug. The ignition system can be categorized into different types, including the conventional ignition system, electronic ignition system, distributed-less ignition system, and coil-on-plug ignition system. Regardless of the type, all ignition systems follow a similar working principle. Now, we'll talk about and discuss the ignition system consists of several key components. Number one is the ignition switch. What is ignition switch? Ignition switch or key or push button initiate the system. Number two is the battery. What's the role of the battery? It provides electrical power. Number three is the ignition coil. Ignition coil converts the battery low voltage to a high voltage needed for sparking. Next is the distributor. Distributor in a conventional system distributes high voltage to spark plugs. Ignition system consists of several key components is the spark plug. Spark plug creates the spark that ignites the air-fuel mixture. And now, the next is we'll talk about the step-by-step working principle or the step-by-step working of the ignition system. First step in working of the ignition system is the turning the ignition key or pressing the start button. When the driver turns the key, electric signal from battery to the ignition system. The next step is the battery power supply. The battery supply 12 volts direct current power to the ignition coil through the ignition switch. And the next steps is the ignition coil operation. The ignition coil is a type of transformer with primary and secondary winding. It steps up to 12 volts of battery to 1,000 of volts in 15,000 to 45,000 volts, required for spark plug to ignite the air-fuel mixture. The next is distributor, or for conventional system. In older ignition system, a rotating distributor directs high voltage from the coil to the correct spark plug based on the engine firing order. The next step is let me share the electronic ignition system in modern vehicle. There are different types. First electronic ignition system, modern vehicle, is the modern system use an electronic unit or the ECU instead of a distributor. The ECU precisely controls spark timing using sensor like, for example, the CKP or CNP, or let's name it crankshaft position sensor, It detects engine speed and position, while the camshaft position sensor or CNP helps in timing ignition events, while the ECU signal the ignition coil to generate the required voltage at the precise moment for the ignition. And not and the last is the spark plug firing. The spark plug firing, once high voltage reaches the spark plug, it jumps the gap between the center and the ground electrode. It creating a spark. Yeah, that's right, creating a spark. This ignites the compressed air fuel mixture in the cylinder, producing a combustion. And the result is engine power and the cycle continuation. The combustion pushes the piston down, generating a power. This process repeats in each cylinder, maintaining engine operation. And that's the ignition system diagram and how it works. Our conclusion, the ignition system play a vital role in a vehicle performance, fuel efficiency, and emissions. Modern advancement such as distributor-less ignition and coil-on-plug systems have improved reliability and precision. Understanding its working helps in diagnosing faults and maintaining vehicle efficiency. And this is our report in the ignition system. Thank you for watching. God bless.